Before I talk about China, I want to show you a short video, just a few seconds, to see how China changed in past 30 years. This is Shanghai today, 1990. Less than 30 years ago, Shanghai was nothing, just a piece of, a farmland. But within 30 years, China made a city like Shanghai like this. We have a lot of cities like that developing the past 30 years. Growth. People start to complain about globalization. I think globalization, nobody can stop it. It will continue to do. The only thing is that how you can change yourself to embrace it. And next to 30 years, China is going to be much faster growth. Past 30 years, American economy was the engine of the global economy. I believe the next 30 years, America still will be the leading engine of the global economy. But China is going to be another big engine for the global economy. China is shifting from exporting to importing. We have 1.4 billion people. We have more than 300 million middle class. You know how many people Chinese people traveling around the world every year? Last year, nearly 150 million Chinese people traveling outside China. 150 million people. This is a moving nation around the world. And in next 10, 15 years, China is going to have 500 to 600 million middle class. The demanding for high quality products, high service products is huge. And I would say that think about what does that mean? Well, before how many cities in America has more than 1 million population? Any idea? 10. How many cities in China has more than 1 million population? 102. The numbers are scary, but what does that mean? That means past 30 years, the American population, middle class, they changed the whole world economy. Next 30 years, China, the growing market, they are going to fundamentally change the landscape of the economy. China is going to buy a lot of things because if we do not start to buy good products, China is going to be a much more polluted country. We have terrible air, we have terrible soil, we have terrible water. If we do not learn to buy things, we are going to be in big trouble. This is what we see. China is going to be the world's largest consumption places, and that engine is going to drive the world economy. I think this is a good opportunity for small business. In the past years, big companies of America are already all over China, all over the world. So in China, you see almost all the big American companies there. But we need more small business. The next amount of importing to China, export to China, this opportunity belongs to small business. I'm encouraging all the government should set special free trade zones for small business. Because in 200 years ago, globalization was controlled by few emperors and kings. In the past 20 years, globalization was controlled and manipulated by 60,000 big companies. Young people had no chance. Small business had no chance. Women had no chance. Developing countries had no chance. But even that, past 20 years, the world economy grew very fast because of globalization. What if we can support 6 million, 16 million small business. They can go global. They can buy and sell. That thing will change very, very fast. Please pay attention, special attention to those companies who have less than 30 employees, because small companies will be the future, and small companies will be the companies of 21st century. I'm a strong believer of that, because in the past 100 years, industry period, everything is about amount, size, standardizations. Next 30 years, the world is shifting from standardization to personalizations. So big companies is going to face huge challenges. Small guys, we have problems, but these big guys, they have a big problems than we have. Again, as an entrepreneur, believe every day is difficult. Today is very difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. But believing the day after tomorrow, that day is very beautiful. But most people die tomorrow evening. If you don't work hard, you don't see the sunshine. We want to support 2 billion consumers. We want to create 100 million jobs for the world. We want to support 10 million business, be profitable on our platform. This is what we want to do. And if you want to be a successful people, an entrepreneur, remember, you need IQ, EQ, and LQ. What is LQ? LQ is Q of love. As I said, 200 million people start to shopping through mobile phone every day. And we are delivering, for our company alone, we are helping delivering over 60 million packages per day, which we foresee that in 10 years, the world in China, the logistics company will deliver at least 1 billion packages per day. Past 20 years, only multinational companies are able to have this kind of international business ecosystem. Today, with the internet, we are able to do this. And it's the opportunity, everything big companies can do in the past 20 years. Today, small business can do it. Last I want to share with you is global buy, global sell is going to be happen in next 10 years. So think about anybody in America, if you want to buy things online, buy a salmon in Norway, you want to buy some coconuts in Thailand, within 72 hours, you will receive it. Our goal is making sure that in next 10 years, anywhere, anybody in the world, if you place an order online, within 72 hours, you will receive it anywhere. So this is what we envision. In next 20 years, China, internet, e-commerce, e-business partner will be everywhere. But don't say, oh, does that mean I have to using Alibaba? No, not necessarily. Using any internet services, any e-commerce company that can help you to sell your things outside. It is so difficult to convincing successful people. One of the reasons why Alibaba succeed, because 10 years ago, we focused on those young people who are 18 years old, 20 years old, because they are not successful. If we help them, spending time with them for 10 years, they will be successful. But those people who are very successful, they will give you 100 reasons why we should not take this of new innovations. So I noticed that many American senior people, they spend a lot of time on sending, receive emails. Young people using the WeChat and chat on the mobile phones. This is the generation change. So the generation change is going to be scary. Let's make it up. And also, please use the internet. Please do business with China. Please learn and find the people who are smart than you are. Thank you very, very much.